Hey folks, this is Johnny. Welcome to another Home Studio Trainer show. And today we're going to take a look at something called Save. In Studio One, there are bunches of different ways to save your song, whether it's actually saving it for easy access for you, or putting it in a folder to send to somebody else, saving stems, saving a mix down. There's a whole bunch of different ways. I'm going to try to go through all of them. And as always, if I miss something, please leave a comment in the comments area. But even more importantly, please like and subscribe and enable the notifications for this video if you want to see more from Home Studio Trainer. You can also become a member and support Home Studio Trainer financially by becoming a member. There are 3 super affordable levels with some awesome benefits, and everybody who becomes a member can get a free one-on-one session to either help out with something, to either help out with a mix, or if you've got some questions about some stuff in Studio One. Go ahead and become a member, and you get those free, totally free. Usually Zoom or Skype is the best way that I do things, so there you go. All right, so let's go ahead and go to the classroom. Okay, so now here's a song that many of you have heard before. I've got a reason to feel in this way. And yes, that is actually me singing. This was actually done quite a few years ago. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to try to save this as many different ways as possible. All right, so let's go ahead and stop that and turn that back up in case we need it. And let's see. All right, so if you look here in the file menu, you have save as, convert to, save to a new folder, and save as template. Now, save as template isn't something that we're going to be doing here. This is something completely different. It's when you actually set up a song, you get all of your tracks together and you save it as a template so that the next time you open it, all of your plugins and your mixer settings and everything like that actually open up per the template. So there's going to be another video on that. All right, so the big ones are going to be for the file menu, save as, and actually just save. Oh, yeah, I forgot one. Save new version. This one, it's cool, but I don't like it. And I'll explain why later. So you have just regular save. And of course, since I haven't made any changes, the save is grayed out. So let's go through this one more time. Make sure I tag everything. Save new version. Save as, convert to, and save to a new folder. And you're probably like, those of you that are just starting with Studio One, what the heck is convert to? So you have all of these options here where you can save different portions of the song, but to save the entire song to upload to something like Sphere, you would actually use this zip file option. So let's actually start from the beginning. All right, so the first one is save. And if I make a little change here in the one of the faders here, if I actually go to file, now you can see that the save light is lit up. That's all it takes, is just a slight adjustment for actually activating the save. So if I hit save, you can see that it goes through its thing there in the middle. Done. So it is saved. Now that just saves the song, and then you will actually end up with seeing it. Let's see if I can get over here to the main page. There we go, the start page. You can see here that it is actually saved. There we go, and it actually puts it up at the top. Ignore this. I'm on like 2 versions back on this particular version of Studio One. All right, let's go back to the song. There we go. All right, so that was save. So let's see. So the next one, file, now save as. This is the one I use the most. Some people don't agree with me on this particular one, but what I like about the save as is that it creates a new song file each time you use save as. So for example, let's say you've actually done your drums and your bass. You don't want to lose that. You want to be able to go back to it. Then you would do save as, song title, drums and bass, and then you would go ahead and you would actually keep adding tracks. You add 2 more guitars and you want to save those. Then you would do a save as, and then you would go save as, song title, drums, bass, and guitars, and move forward that way. When you use save as, you have all of these different song files that you can go back to. So if one becomes corrupt, you can always go ahead to the previous one to at least start where you left off. And that'll make more sense to you when we get to the save. Let's see, not save to a new folder. When we actually get to, see, now I'm not seeing it here now. Save new version. Save new version. My brain is failing. All right, so let's keep going. So there we go. We did the regular save. So now if we do file, save as, then we get this window, and we can go ahead and save. So there we go. There's song final, and I'm going to save as a new title. I'm going to say save video. So now if I click on save, there we go. And if I go ahead and I go back, let's see, let's go to file. How am I going to see that? Recent files. That's the save song final. Let me actually do this. I'm going to go to the song folder. So let me go back to the start page. And we are going to go ahead and for forgiveness, we're going to say show in folder. So now you can see here, there was the original title, Johnny Gibe, Final Forgiveness. That was the first title we did. And then here is the save video song. So what I like about this, oh, there we go. There's the stems version that I did. So what I like about this is the fact that if this original version goes corrupt for whatever reason, like maybe you're in the middle of doing the song and you lose power and you go back to the song and it goes, you're not going to get anything. You can actually go to the other, one of the other save ases, and you can open it from there. Yeah, I didn't swear. I promise. All right, so you can actually open the different save as versions, no matter how many that you have, and go back. All right, so now let's go ahead and close that. Let's go back to our song. So if I actually go ahead and I make a change to this guy here, let's make a change to this guy. We're going to go File. And now we're going to do save new version. You actually saw that once I actually saved the song or did a save as, the save new version option disappeared. And that always gets me because when I'm trying to explain some of this stuff, some of it disappears as I go through it. All right, so save new version. Now, this is interesting. So if I do save new version and I say, let's see, FORGI. Forgiveness, Johnny Gibe. And we're going to call this the saves video. All right. So now, I didn't put any parentheses or anything like that. I intentionally made it different than the first one. So there we go. So that's done. So then you're going to go to the start page and you're going to go, there's the saves video right there. So if I right click on this here, you can see that there is a new version right here. This is called your save new version. So if I do that, let me actually go back to the song. I have an idea. Let me make a bunch of these. Let's go back to the song. All right, so I'm going to just do an acoustic version. And where's the vocal? Let's see. Lead vocal. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to go File, and I'm going to go Save New Version. And I'm going to say Forgiveness. Acoustic. Boom. So now I am actually going to just mute the vocals. And I'm going to go File, Save New Version. And I'm going to call this Forgiveness. You know, it's hard to do this with this microphone sitting right in my face. Forgiveness. We're going to call this instrumental. Instrumental. Boom. So let's see, what else can I do? I can actually mute the solo. I soloed the solo. I'm going to mute the solo. And I'm going to go File. I'm going to do Save New Version. And I'm going to say Forgiveness. Oh, solo. Okay. So now, if I go back to the start page, and let's see, let me go ahead, and you can see none of those are showing up here. So if I right-click on the original version here, there we go. Now you see all of the Save New versions that I have. Now, this is quite convenient. The only downside to this as opposed to the Save As, if this file goes corrupt, all of these are gone. At least that is my experience. Now, maybe there's some people say, hey, the song crashed. I right-clicked and I opened up one of the other versions. I have not gotten that to work. If you have, or you're one of the other brilliant video makers out there for Studio One that say that it doesn't do that anymore, please leave a comment in the comments area. I will be more than happy to make a correction video. But in my experience, if the song file here goes corrupt, you will lose all of your Save New versions. As opposed, if you do the Save As, you can see the Save As actually pops up here already. Does that make sense? I hope so. So that's the difference between Save As and Save New Version. Now, I do love the Save New Version simply because of this. I don't have 100% trust in it yet. And like I said, if you have a different experience with this, please leave it in the comments area. None of the stuff that I do is 100% accurate. I only go by my experiences. So I am always open to some of the more savvy Studio One users, or just someone who just started using it and has used that and has not experienced that. I'd like to get that conversation going, if that is a conversation to have. All right, let's continue. All right, so we have gone through. I'm going to make it just a small adjustment here so I can get all the saves here. Going to go File. We have gone through Save New Version. We have gone through Save. We've gone through Save As. Okay, now we're going to start getting into some saving the song for sharing. My dysphonia is not letting me say the word my. So, my favorite, there we go, my favorite way to share a song is to go to Convert To and say zip file. So now what this is going to do, it is going to take everything, your edits, the mixer scene, any effects that you have in your song, all of that stuff. It's going to save it in a zip file. And the awesome part about that is once you get the file from a friend of yours that has actually used the save, that has used this option, zip file. Almost forgot what it was called. All you have to do is drag it into the Studio One window. You don't have to open it or unzip it. You don't have to do anything. And then once you actually make changes, you save it again. You can save it as a new zip file and send that back with the changes to the person that sent it to you in the first place. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. So now I'm going to call this. All right, let's see. We're going to call this zip file. There we go. Perfect. Zip file. And I'm not going to save this in the song folder. I'm actually going to save it. Sorry. I'm actually going to save it on the desktop, if it lets me. So let's see. Is this going to let me save it to the desktop? Yes. There we go. And we're just going to save it to the desktop. That's it. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save. And it gives me all of these options right here. This is cool. You can actually save it with lossless audio compression. That's the FLAC files. We have the option to upload it to Sphere. And this would be, if I use this option, it's going to open up a panel and it's going to give me a list of the workspaces I'm a member of. Okay, so let's see. So now the following plugins are used in this document. Yeah, the songs are called documents. I wish they would change that to songs. It's so frustrating. All right, so there are all the effects that you have. Now, if you have a third-party effect in here, it's going to list it, but if the person that you are sending it to doesn't have that plugin will be disabled, obviously. So there you go. It gives you a full list of everything that's there. So now we're going to go ahead and click OK. Boom, 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 boom. It is saving everything, any scenes that you have, all your mixer positions, any effects that you're using, so on and so forth. All right, so now I'm going to close this song. File, close. There we go. So now if I actually bring this down here, here we go. Here's forgiveness. Here's the part that I love, and I hope that this works on the first try. I mean, it usually does, but my luck, my system will crash or something like that. So all I have to do is take this zip file and go bam. Yes. And you can tell that it has saved the save version up here because it was all saved within the file, within the zip file. Everything is here. All of the changes that you made are here. Everything looks fantastic. So it is really that simple. Now, you don't have to upload it to Sphere. If you don't have Sphere, you can just go ahead and do the save as a zip file. And then you can just email it to somebody if it's small enough. I think it's still a 2 meg limit on files for email. I think it's 2 meg. Not sure, but you can go ahead and upload it to Dropbox, or iCloud and stuff like that, and you can share it that way. But that zip file holds everything. I'm still not used to this new mic position. Whacking it with my hand. Ow. I got bloody knuckles from this thing. All right, so there you go. All right, so here is the song. Everything is open, and if I go to the start page, you can see it's opened up another version of this. Okay, so then it's up to you to actually customize, right-click. You can remove some of this listing. Let's see, are all of... You know what's interesting? Let's see if all of the save new versions are in the zip file. And they are not. They are not. There we go. There's a good thing to know. Here was the original version that we actually saved, that we actually used to save the zip file. And you can see it's got all the save new versions. This is good to know. If you use the zip option, it does not save the save new versions in there. That's interesting. I wonder if that could be a feature request, because if that would work, that would be really cool. All right, there you go. So that gives, there it is again. That gives you some really good information on that. All right, let's go back to the song. So, I know I keep smacking the microphone. I gotta get under everything. See, and I did it again. All right, so now. So if you are working in Studio One and your friend is working in Pro Tools, shame on them, and you want to give them the song, but you have to export the stems. Now, exporting stems to somebody who isn't using Studio One is a little more tricky. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to have to decide whether or not you are going to give them the stems with the effects or without the effects. So there's a couple of ways to do this. If you go over here to the left, you see this little button here, and this says activate all inserts. So if you actually turn that off, it will take all of the effects that you have as inserts. Let me make a little bit more room here. There we go. It'll take and turn off all of these if you hit this little button right here. So if we go like this, watch all of the effects. Boom. There we go. Excuse me. They've all been deactivated, even on the sends. Turn that back on. you can also do it a different way. You can open up the performance. And if in the performance you go ahead and make sure that you can make sure that you can see all of the things that you have used as plugins, you can click on Show Devices and it lists everything. You can shut off your effects here. Activate all, deactivate all. It's the same as hitting this button right here, but be aware, if you do that here, it also deactivates your instrument plugins. I don't think it does that if you... See, I don't have any instruments on here. Let's try this. I don't have any instrument tracks. I have all... These are all audio tracks, but let's, just for grins, go to Instruments and bring in Impact, and we'll open up just any old drum kit just to see if it deactivates it. Let's actually check this. Alrighty, so there we go. There is Impact. So if I go ahead and I open up this, let's see, there's the Impact right there. So if I deactivate them all here, it deactivates the instrument. If I deactivate here, it doesn't. Also, it looks like Melodyne falls under that same umbrella. So if you deactivate all of the plugins from this area here, it will deactivate all of your inserts, whether it's in a bus or on a track channel. If you deactivate here, it deactivates everything. So you might want to make sure that you keep an eye out for that. So if you're going to do stems and you want to make sure that all of your instrument tracks are rendered as a stem, and then you send it to your friend, make sure you don't deactivate all here. Make sure that you just use this, and it will only deactivate things like compression, reverb, chorus, delay, all of that stuff. So Melodyne stays and Impact stays, disabling the effects here. Everything is affected, disabling the effects here. You can also just simply swipe down here and deactivate only the ones that you want. So that's actually quite cool. See, deactivate all, there we go. So everything is there. Boom, there we go. All right, cool. Does that make sense? All right, so let's see. I think that that's it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how the folders are created. So I'm going to deactivate just the plugins. I am going to go File. Let's see, or is it Song? I always forget this. Export Stems. See, I've got a button that I use on my toolbar. So I always forget where the menus are. All right, so if I'm going to export stems, I can choose whether I want just the tracks exported as just the tracks, or if I want any channels exported. Like you can see, I've got all these Impact channels, and I have all of my buses, and everything is included in this list here. There's a bus right there. So you can choose whether you want all of those exported as audio tracks or just the tracks themselves. Usually you're just going to use the tracks because you want to turn off the effects. You want to send the tracks to your friend and let him do his own thing with it. And then he can export stems dry without effects, and then you can re-import them in. You can either import them one by one into a new song, that'll be in another video, actually taking pieces from an existing song and bringing them into another song. And you can do it like that. So if I just say tracks and let's see, I don't want to publish, I have the ability to publish. I don't know where can I publish? So I can upload to Sphere and SoundCloud. I have no idea why I would upload stems to SoundCloud. Doesn't that sound weird? Sounds weird to me. But either way, you can do that. You can choose to export the stems as MP3 files. That would make your file pretty small. Or you can just use the WAV files. Or you can even use the FLAC files. So you can choose whatever you want here for the export. All right, and what we're going to do is, you know what we didn't do? Let's see, do we already have Oh, we do. We have the start and end markers. This is important. I always forget to tell people this. If you're going to export stems or export a mixdown, make sure that you have your start and end markers selected. And then you use that option. You can even use the loop zone instead of the start and end markers, and you can actually select the loop zone if you want to. Make sense? All right, there you go. So we're going to use the start and end markers. So now we can see here that we should only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 tracks here. Oh, there's the solo muted and impact is empty. So we should have, I lost count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 9 or 10 tracks. That's all that should be in this folder. So we're going to actually just let it export the name that I've given it. And I'm going to change the location. Now I just want to go to the desktop so that we can see it. And we're going to use that desktop and say OK. And what it's going to do is it's going to make a quick, dry render of all of the tracks in the song because I have this turned off. And here it goes, here it goes. Might take a few minutes. I probably should have picked a smaller song for this video, but we're going to sit through it. So let's see, it's doing each track one at a time, and this actually gives you the ability to see what's happening and the time that's left. And I have to think of things to say while this does this. See, I don't do much editing of these videos. I like people to see exactly what I see here and what they're going to go through. But it's a good thing I didn't open up a song with like 50 tracks. Otherwise, that would take the video a little bit longer than I anticipated. Oh, and if you guys could, just as a reminder, please go ahead and click the like button, click subscribe, click the bell for all the notifications, and even more. Please become a member and support Home Studio Trainer, the Home Studio Trainer Show with a little bit every month. There are 3 super affordable levels with awesome benefits, and all of the benefits include a free one-on-one. As I hit the mic again. All right, there we go. All right, so here's what opened up after the save is done. I knew I'd think of something to say. Let's see. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to close this. This window pops up after the save just to go to the location that you saved at, and you can find the folder. But I'm going to go ahead and close that, and I'm going to minimize Studio One and look at that. Oh, now you see, I made a mistake. I forgot to create a folder first. So you see what it did? It put all of the stems on my desktop. Duh. I wish I had those little drop-ins, you know, like some of the other video creators make. So, yeah, a little duh moment there. So it's usually a good idea to create a folder. G-I-V-E-N-E-S. I'm sure I'm spelling it wrong. S-T-E-M-S. Okay, there we go. Forgiveness stems. And then you go, loop, and then you go like this. Hold the command key so that they all go in, and there we go. So if I had created the folder first, I would have actually selected it when I actually changed the location to save at. All right, so there you go. You have seen everything that could possibly happen when it comes to saving a song. Now, when it comes to actually mixdowns and things like that, you can go song, you can go mixdown, export mixdown. And what this is going to be, the export mixdown, for those of you that are just starting with Studio One, this is going to give you either an MP3 file or it's going to give you a WAV file. You can actually export all of these different file versions. Excuse me. There we go, and you can actually choose the resolution and bit rate and all of this stuff. You can even choose, just rendering certain outputs and things like that. You have different loudness levels that you can do too. You can just use the default that pops up there, or if you're exporting to YouTube or if you're exporting to SoundCloud, you can use these settings too. There is some debate on how accurate these are. I have to tell you, I've exported to many of these, and they've been perfect. It just actually sets up the sound level of the file to the level of the corresponding destination. Let's see, it's even got Netflix. Boy, who uploads to Netflix? I guess if you're doing music composition, you want to send it to them. You've got all of the settings there. But there you go. There's your file types. There's your loudness types. And then, of course, the between loop and between start and end marker. Okay, so I think that is going to do it. I hope you guys got something out of this video. This has been a big requested video. It was on my old channel that got last November. So I'm in the process of redoing all of the videos from the older videos at that time. I hit the mic again. And trying to update them all to Studio 1.6. I could re-upload the old ones, but I'm actually going to use those as templates for all of the videos coming. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you tomorrow in another one. There is the Home Studio Trainer Show. Is going to be a video a day every day. Sometimes there will be 2 or 3 videos in a day if the subject is really there. And there will be some live streams coming. I have to prepare for live streams. It's very difficult because the voice doesn't always work. And the live streams go for about an hour. Now, the timing of the live streams will vary. Some will be in the afternoon, some will be in the evening. So I want to make sure that I do a live stream and get everybody involved in it. My biggest watch view time is between noon and 4 p.m. So hopefully you guys will be available for those. Right, that's going to do it. Hopefully you guys got something out of this, and I will see you all in the next video.